Running commentary. We are exploring listening to albums. New York Dolls. New York Dolls is the debut album by the New York Dolls. It was released in 1973 and it was on Mercury Records. The album had a budget of $17,000 and the band were a handful. They showed up drunk, all of their friends came in. It was a bit of a hot mess. When I was asked to review this album, which has no hits on it, I was like, oh no, another one of my director's recommendations which I am duty-bound to review. The song starts with Personality Crisis and my own nose continued for a time. And then I realized, oh, okay, this is kind of amusing, sort of. I looked at the cover, which also made me think of my director, and I found that very amusing as I'd realized that it had been written in lipstick and that the band had more makeup on than Cipriani's on a Saturday night. They sounded like The Damned. They sounded like Slade. Did they? Is that what I was hearing? There was the beginnings of other people here. You got it while it was hot, they say on Personality Crisis, and I'm like, okay. First track down. Great, I made it through track 1. Track 2, Looking for a Kiss. I need a fix and a kiss. Don't we all? Certainly after it, again, for the first listen of this record, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna make it through. It's gonna work. It's gonna be okay. Vietnamese Baby. Well, there's a politically correct title if ever there was one. Badass. It's a great song. What's wrong with today is what's wrong with you. What a great lyric and absolutely true. So just for its lyrics alone there, Vietnamese Baby is now on the second and third listens. Vietnamese Baby is scoring high and I think it's pretty hot. Lonely Planet Boy is really great. It's a really great song. It's well written. It's ahead of its time and there's depth here. They're going for I don't think they're going for anything, they're just doing it. This was a band that already had their props from the live audience. Again, when they went into the studio, by the time they went into the studio, they were like performing for their live audience. I don't think they really gave a fuck about Mercury Records or Todd Rundgren, who was producing the album. Todd Rundgren, by the way, we went on to find out, had a big top 5 hit with Hello, It's Me. Quite the American classic, and I was really surprised to find that he was the producer on this album, and from what I can gather, his approach was a very hands-off one, and no other producer would touch this album because of the band's reputation and the fact that they were strutting around in high heels while drinking bourbon and being generally obnoxious. Frankenstein is a great album anchor and should be used at more Halloween parades. I definitely think so. This is right up there with Monster Mash, but it's, when I say that, I mean that in the best possible terms. This is kind of a glam rock Halloween special and it's really throbbing and great and you kind of want to bolt through your head to go with it as you listen to it. It's really great. I wrote here, fucking epic and brilliant. So I guess I must have had a few cocktails. But yeah, really a good, solid anchor to the thing. And I'm starting to dig on these guys. By the first time I'm around, it's a chore. The second time I'm like, not meaning to tap away, and I am. And so Frankenstein's a great song. Trash is great. Trash is absolutely great. Trash is funny. Hilarious. Pick it up. It's just instantly great. I can't believe it's not been a hit. It's a great song. It's funny. I love the picture of them stood outside a deli kind of corner store in full conflamas. I really am starting to really enjoy this band now and find them highly amusing. I know that probably they've got like less of a shelf life than Amy Winehouse. Just looking at them, it's very little chance that their antics are going to keep them in makeup and high heels for very long. But while it's happening, I think we're really grateful that it is happening. These guys don't care. They just don't care. And that's what really, I think, separates them from other artists of that time. And they're also poured in with, or coupled or, you know, compared to the Velvet Underground. But to me, the Velvet Underground really nowhere on this level. This is way more interesting to me than the Velvet Underground. Bad Girl, don't really remember this so much. I don't think it was that good. I think I just kind of was waiting for the next track to come on. Nothing really special. By the third listen, I kind of really liked Subway Train. I was like, oh yeah, you know, I can kind of sort of hear this in 1974 or 5. I kind of, yeah, I was okay with Subway Train. It really, not the greatest thing on there, but yeah, I really liked it. Remember, there's no hits here, and I'm a hits guy, so the fact that I'm enjoying this in any way, shape, or form is a miracle to me, and probably the director of this show. I think the real genius comes with Pills, the Bo Diddley cover. This was really inspired. This was great. There's something about this song that really is endearing, and on first listen, I think Pills stands out. And the fact that it's a Bo Diddley cover, I think, is pretty clever and pretty inspired by the band. You know, I'm starting to like these guys more and more as time goes along. Private World, I really like the guitar work on this track. I thought the guitar world was what really made Private World great. Jet Boy, yeah and no. Yeah, but, you know, as the final track on the album, it's okay. It's okay. I think there are better things on the album. I have to tell you that if you're going to explore this album, give it a chance. Don't write it off the first listen. I can be guilty of that. I can be someone who's very dismissive and doesn't give things a chance, but just because of some of your comments from the audience and just for the fact that I want to be better at this job as well, just like these guys got good at their job, I think that, you know, you have to give this record a chance. And by the third time, I'm ready to hear this album again. It was really a revelation. There's so much more still to say. I will say there are times when the lead singer's voice gets annoying and he's starting to like, oh, it's like that gruff voice and that kind of flat voice starts to get annoying a la Kiss. This is why I don't like Kiss, is it's very boxy. Sometimes I don't like US glam rock bands they're very boxy. It's like they sort of don't move. It's almost like they're human being transformers. Like they're so busy strutting that the voice modulation can get really irritating. It's one of the few downfalls of listening to this record, is that there are times when the guy's voice was starting to get on my nerves. And who is the guy? The guy is David Johansen. He's the vocalist for the group. Johnny Thunders is the guitarist. Arthur Kane is the bassist. Sylvain is a pianist, and he's still certainly larger than life in the music scene in terms of his commentary on the band and how they evolved and what their stories were. And Jerry Nolan is the drummer. They sound like stars, don't they? Aren't they great names for band members? I really like these guys. It's critically acclaimed across the board, and for once, critical acclaim knows what it's talking about. In the final mark for New York Dolls, the debut album, running commentary album reviews, awards the album, 74%. New York Dolls have to be checked out just for their sheer daring and irreverence. I think you'll really enjoy this. Give it a chance. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, recommend it to friends, post comments. Also, if you have an album that you'd like to hear reviewed, we welcome your requests.